Good morning, or good afternoon, or good day, wherever you are. Um, I'm here back in my favorite place in the Poconos, and I just thought I'd come on live today and see who was here and who was interested in. We have my good friend Nina's here. Good morning, Nina. Nice to see you. We were just talking yesterday about some projects that we want to work on, so I'm looking forward to those. Um, I just last week got back from my retreat that I was at with Kevin Lewis in Squamish. So that was a really nice event. And in addition to the event, were able to be with some friends. And yeah, Sunshine, you were there. You were there. Thanks for everything. And we had a really great time. Kathy Beers here. Good morning, Kathy. So I don't really have an agenda this morning. I'm just coming on and taking questions and just kind of seeing what's going on. It's been a pretty busy summer. Been busy doing a lot of things. I actually, like I think I mentioned it a while back, I was working on a book talking about like what's been all this that's happened to me over the last, let's say, 2.5, 3 years. And so I actually basically finished the book last week, and there's a lot more work to do to it, but basically it's finished. So um, reaching out to some folks to kind of get some input on it, and so yeah, I'm really excited about it. Um, it's not just a story about the mediumship, but it's basically about a lot of things that have happened to me over the years, and a lot of funny stories. So it's not anything real serious, but it does have serious parts to it. But one thing that I always try to tell people, and I always feel, at least this is my own opinion, is that when you're doing this work, yes, there's a lot of emotion to it, and there's a lot of deepness, or so to speak, when you're connecting with spirit and loved ones, and it can get very emotional. But in more cases than one, or more cases than another, I always seem to get funny stories. And so I think it's important that we laugh a little bit more, because I think we take things a little bit too seriously in this earth. So spirit always for me comes through with some funny stories. So in the book, I've shared a lot of funny stories, just as I've been working on this mediumship and the healing stuff with Reiki and all this other stuff. So I've been sharing a lot of stories and in the book. So I think it'll be fun. I don't really have I'm trying to looking toward the winter to get it out to everyone, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, thank you, Sunshine. Yeah, I'm really happy that I got that done. It was funny because I've been working on it for quite a while, actually for almost over a year. I just started like writing down stories, and it really centers on my connection to my awakening and my friend Alan, who passed now 12 years ago. And we had made a kind of a pact together back when we were years ago, because we were always interested in all these topics. And we made a pact that we said, whoever passes first will make contact. And I used to joke with him that Harry Houdini's, passed on, I think it was on Halloween, and his wife every year would have a seance and never made contact. I said, well, she didn't have a very good medium. So I said, well, we're going to make contact. So I always got messages when people passed, even before the major awakening. And so I never got any messages from him and never heard anything until one day, about 2.5 years ago, I was sitting in my living room and a lot of things were coming to me. And there he was. He appeared to me just floating by with a cigarette and a glass of wine, sitting on a bar stool, laughing. So coming to me with humor. So that's how it started, really. It was the major thing. And then a lot of other things unfolded from that. But, and he's with me all the time. In fact, when I started this session today, I asked, was he going to be around? And yeah, he's here. So with that, we have a few people here. Good Good morning, Kathy. Yeah, Kathy was on the trip along with our friend Bobby and a lot of other folks that we got to know through a lot of different experiences. We're there together. So it was really nice. And there's our friend Neptune's daughter, aka Jan. If you haven't checked out her channel, check out at Neptune's daughter JB. And she does like regular horoscope and tarot readings, and so check those out. In fact, Jan's going to be coming back to where I'm at in not too long to do some projects together. So we're looking forward to that. Good morning, Mirror Dragon. Nice to see you. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been on. I mean, what's today? July 10th? Yeah, it's probably been almost at least 3 weeks because, I mean, I was doing shorts when I was on the trip, but actually doing a show, it's been quite a while. So, yeah, no problem, Jan, anytime. So, I guess got some folks here. If anybody has any questions, it doesn't really have to be personal questions. It could be any kind of questions. And also I have Instagram Live. So if there's anybody on Instagram that wants to ask questions, go ahead and post them on Instagram, and I'll be checking that regularly. So if anybody has any thoughts or things to spark some discussion, please post that in the comment section. Would love to talk about a lot of things. For a lot of us, there's a lot of things happening. For me, I don't know how it is for a lot of us. I've talked to a lot of friends in the community, and a lot of us have been getting a lot of intense dreams. Premonition. I had one little premonition that happened to me. Let's see, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning. I was waking up out of bed and I had a vision of myself carrying this crate going down the stairs and falling and like having a serious injury. And I knew I had to get this crate down the stairs. So what I did was I carried it back. I sort of slid it down the stairs backwards. But when I got to the bottom step, I missed it. So I ended up falling. So I have a little injury here on my hand, nothing major. And I didn't really hurt anything else. But it was almost like when I was thinking about that event, it was almost as if that was supposed to happen. But because I listened to my intuition, it didn't happen as it could have been a lot worse. So it goes along with that, with your Akashic records, the scope scale and of things. So it happened, but it wasn't that bad. So again, I always say, listen to your intuition, listen to those little messages. Yeah. I have a weird tendency of hitting my head and falling, stupid things, but I've learned to slow down a lot. In fact, when I had my one of the stories in the book was when I was still drinking, I was rushing around unloading things, and I fell and tore my complete rotator cuff. So I learned at that point, not only did I need to stop drinking, I also needed to slow down. So, okay, thanks, Nina. So Nina, this is what I was just talking about. She says, I've had very vivid dreams about people coming to me. I could feel that I knew them, so I decided to sneak behind them in my dreams and discovered they are dressing up as humans, but it is my galactic friends, galactic family. So that's interesting because I do believe that, as we get in more contact with our star family, so to speak, I think a lot of times they come to us in different ways so that we can handle it a little bit better. And that's part of the things that are happening around us. So does anyone have any of those other experiences? Oh, okay, she extended the message. So it said, I had very vivid dreams about people coming to me. I could feel that I knew them, so I decided to sneak behind them in my dream and discovered they are dressing up as humans, but it is my galactic team coming in to give me subconscious guidance. So, I had a really interesting dream as well. Yesterday morning. It was 2 mornings ago was when I fell. Yesterday morning, I woke up and I I saw 3 guides or beings at the foot of my bed, like in gray form, just an image. And then to my left, I saw this almost like in the Star Trek where they have that transporter. It was like orange, yellow, and red, like flakes, almost like a beam of light coming in. This was in the bedroom, was completely dark. And it was with my plain vision. It wasn't in my mind's eye. So I saw all that. And what I felt as well is that there is a connection happening, and they're reaching out because it's important. Like a lot of people are like, when are we going to have disclosure, and when are they going to tell? They're already doing that. So it's again with your intuition, is listening to things, not just to the spirit world, but to our other galactic friends and things. And so I think that's, anybody else have any of those experiences like Nina had? I know I've been hearing some different stories. Kathy's saying hugs, Kathy and everyone. So I want to appreciate everyone being on here. I'm also really, was just looking at my subscriber list. It's up to 12,450. I still don't understand how it got that big. But it is pretty incredible to have that many people on. And I'm really appreciative of the international audience. So sometimes I post things in a couple different, I try to do Hindi and Punjab because I have a lot of subscribers in India. I also have some in Spanish speaking countries. So I try to do that. But if there's anybody in here that's logging in that's not English speaking, I would entertain a question. If you need to put it in your language, that's fine. We can translate it. Hi, Viviane. Yeah, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I always enjoy your show, especially when you're on with John, but also by yourself. You take so much time with each question, and you really take with some depth, and you really tune into it. It's really interesting to see how you do that. I'm really nice to see that. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is for real, or as my students in California used to say, for reals. This is for reals. This is actually the woods behind me. So, and this is where I spend a lot of time. So I really enjoy that. Yeah, I can tell you enjoy working with John. I had a reading with John about, last May. And it's interesting because I've been getting like insight from messages of my guides as well. And one of the things that I keep getting is about healing. And that all my work is centered around that. So whether I'm doing mediumship or whether I'm doing Reiki or I'm been doing some trance healing as well. So energy work, I guess you should put it under that umbrella. It's all under the umbrella of healing. And so that was one thing that John brought forth. So, oh, wow. That is really cool. That is really cool. Viviana says she's had a lot of past lives with John. Speaking of past lives, so my husband and I have been together at least 5 times, if I can know it, brought it up. And when I was in the retreat, Linda G actually brought it up again about 1840 period, where we were soldiers, brothers together, I guess. And so I have this huge military connection, and that has come up in my own past life regression and a number of other ones. But yeah, it's interesting how people come into your lives. I'm sure when you first met John, Viviani, you just knew there was a connection. Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, my thing came through a session I had many years ago, one of the first past life regressions I had. And I didn't realize it was him until, a few years later, or not a few months later, that I realized that we had been together. So it's really interesting. Yeah, when I met my husband, it was like instant. I knew exactly that there was a connection there as well. Let's see. Kathy has something here. Kathy says, while Tom was receiving Reiki, the blue. Oh, that's really, I forgot about that. So right in front of me is my place that I have like a little building here that I do, little shed that I do Reiki in and do readings and everything. And so when my friends Kathy and Bobby were here, we were sharing Reiki sessions. And so they were both doing the session with me as the client. And in the session, I felt my body, my spirit leave my body, not to the point that I was floating above and looking down, but I was definitely elevated above the table. And so when the session was over, I didn't say anything. I like to get validation. And I think it was one of the two said, "You were out of your body." And I said, "I know I was." It was really incredible. So it's really, I really enjoy that. It's nice to be out of your body a little bit once in a while. So, and there were beings that were here as well. So I give a lot of galactic beings, a lot of elementals are here, and my furry friends as well. So I have a lot of different. Oh, and speaking of my furry friends, one of the things that came to me while I was on the retreat, I was having a experience with my guides, and I kind of know who they are. Except in this one experience, I looked over to the one side and I saw my furry friend come forth, and he was like joining the team officially. He's always been off to the side, so um, that was a neat experience. In fact, I really get a lot of interesting information. This morning, I got information from him regarding the Earth changes and what's happening, and there's a lot of things that are going to be happening, but it just has to happen. The Earth is in changes. So, hey, Carol, um, that is great. Nice to see you. Oh, Kathy's mentioning something. So the three of us, Bobby, Kathy, and I, started doing these three people on one client, so to speak, in a Zoom session. And what we've been doing is two people who were on live. I went off camera and did more of an energy work on it, and then I documented what was happening. And when we all came together, it all connected. So we've been working on that. It was kind of Kathy actually had a vision about doing that, so we've been doing that together. That's been really interesting. So if anybody's interested in that kind of session, let us know. We're still working it out, but it's been really working out well. Oh, Vivian said, "I love my Arcturian guides." That's great. Anybody have any other thoughts? What's going on? I got a lot of people here in the audience here. Based on the audience that I see in the comments, I'm not sure anybody just wants a reading, but does anyone have anything else that's going on? There's so much happening. And I'm not even talking about just the political world, although that's a lot going on as always. But is there anything else that's been happening? Anybody having any interesting dreams or experiences that are going on? I've shared a few really intense dreams. You know what? I'm going to pull a card here. I got this neat card from my good friend, Bobby. So I don't use the cards all the time, but sometimes I like to use them. So, oh yeah, definitely Earth changes. Okay, that was the message I got this morning from them. Yeah, if you have something to say, Jan, go ahead and say it. Oh, this is a good card for Tom. Patience. My parents worked so hard for me to learn patience, and my joke is I always say, if you better be patient, or you might be a patient. Yeah, because you can drive yourself a little bit crazy if you don't pay attention to that. Carol said, I've had very vivid dreams, but I'm driving and talking to text. Oh, okay. Don't try to text while you're driving, Carol. Yeah, it's who else has had some vivid dreams? Anybody have any dreams they want to share? Maybe we could talk through them. Or if somebody has a question, I'll do a reading. If somebody has a question, that would be fine. Nope. You said that right, Nina. No joke. Just when you think, we actually, where I'm sitting here, and I just should have brought this up, where I'm sitting here a week ago Saturday, we had a tornado come through. And one of the sites that are in this campground farther down, actually, a tree about this big fell on their camper. Luckily, nobody was there, nobody was in the camper. But we had another experience. It was a tornado that came through here, and the funny part was, not funny, but ironically, the day before we had a mini storm that came through, and I heard somebody say, "Oh, was that a tornado?" And somebody said, "Oh, there's no tornadoes in the Poconos. It's the mountains are here." And the next day, ta-da! People were yelling "anti-M, anti-M." It was definitely a tornado that came through. It was really scary. Power went out. We couldn't leave camp. The roads were closed. It was really crazy. Oh, good morning, Kevin. Good morning. Good morning. I was just talking earlier about the retreat and how great it was, and actually didn't speak a little bit about the space that we were in. So as you can tell, I always like being in nature, and so I love my space here. The difference between where we were to where I am, a lot of these forests were cut down probably 150 years ago for New York. They built a lot of their houses from the wood out of the Poconos. So a lot of the forests that are here are newer forests, whereas where we were, just ancient forests. And there was this one tree, I believe it was 700 or 800 years old. I mean, just imagine that, how old that is. So it was really amazing where we were and the experience. And so, if I always tell people, if you really want to find some time to get to know yourself, go to find some nature. So be in nature. Yeah, anti-M, anti-M. I mean, I joke about that, but it was bad. It could have been a lot worse, but luckily people listened to their intuition and kind of did what they needed to do. So Carol has a statement here. I hope you are doing this without typing. Carol says one of because she's driving. One of our mutual friends almost had part of her house taken out to enormous trees came down her yard, and she's also in PA. Yeah, it was really bad here. Um, and even in the city in Philadelphia, it was bad. But here, with all the trees, like I said, we could not leave camp. The camp was closed, and so and there was no power, and the water was off. So it was a little difficult for a day or so. Um, yes, Kevin, that nature part of the retreat, it's I've been to a lot of, even when I was just going to things for school, when I would go to conventions and things and meetings, a lot of those were held like in hotel rooms, and it was just so wasn't meaningful. But once in a while we would have one. I remember one we did a retreat in like a nature setting, and it just changed the whole environment. So being at your retreat, Kevin, and the spiritual focus of it, as well as being in nature, was just it just added a whole other element to it. It really was really nice. Um, Sunshine says, yesterday my phone alarm went off at 11:15 Pacific. I never use my alarm. Well, that's interesting. The next day, my kitchen lights went on mid-afternoon. Who is trying to get my attention? Well, as soon as you wrote that, I heard sister, so I think that's who it is. Um, I feel like she's going through some, like, you know, we've read on her before, and I feel like she's going through some positive changes, and she almost wants to tell you about it. So maybe tap into that. It's not. I don't sense it's anything like. I feel like it's positive. Like she's excited and it's like, here, I'm going to tell you something. So that's what I'm getting right away. Is as soon as I read that question, I heard sister. So I feel like that's possibly what's going on there. Um, So Jan writes, after 15 years single, oh, I'm settling a new relationship with someone who is totally tapped in. I'm teaching her what all of the energy she's feeling means. 3 weeks, it's already been incredible. That's wonderful, Jan. That's really wonderful. And I know you're going to be coming here, and I think she's coming as well. So I think that's going to be great. Be looking forward to meeting her. It's going to be a great weekend. So it's nice when you're with somebody that resonates with you. And with doing this kind of work, sometimes for a lot of us, we have a lot of friends from different parts of our lives. And sometimes when you get doing this work, sometimes they come along with you and sometimes they don't. I always tie this into when I came out, when I was in my 20s, I was married to a woman, and then I came out as gay. And so I went through that whole experience. And so coming out, quote unquote, as doing this work as a medium and a psychic, it wasn't as difficult for me, maybe because I'm older as well, but I'd been through it. And some of the friends you have, and some of them kind of move off to the side. But the ones that resonate with you are always really, really important. Yeah, it's hard to see this tree was huge. It was just really big. Viviani says, I love walking in nature. I talk to the flowers and trees, and I love taking pictures of flowers. Yeah, I just posted. I did my, every morning, pretty much every morning, I do like light channeling and I do automatic writing, or one or the other. So this morning I got a message, and I take videos of nature. So the video I posted was of I believe it was a monarch butterfly on my milk thistle that I planted here. And, it's one little image of one butterfly on one little flower, but in that one little picture, there's so much there. So I think sometimes we just walk past stuff that's little, that like that. So that's great that you do that. Yeah, that's what I was getting, Sunshine. I felt like it was your sister. Right away when I read the question, I heard sister. So, oh, Annie Bear's here. Hey, it was so nice to meet you in person, and your husband and stuff. It was great. It was such a nice experience meeting you in person. And I know we shared some stuff. I'm connected through my other half through Native community. So it was nice to be around your energy. It was really, really, really beautiful. Well, I like all these comments here. Now we're getting comments. Yeah, Annie Bear says, good morning, everyone. Oh, Kevin has a question. Was it easier for you to come out spiritually because you also had this community? Just curious. Okay, hands down, Kevin. Yes. How this all started for me, I was getting all this stuff coming to me even before I quit drinking. It was sort of like ratcheting up. And then I had surgery, and then I wasn't drinking, and I was sitting on the couch or the chair, and I got rid of cable because I was sick of that. So I thought, well, I got to try this YouTube thing out. And I went on and I said, Psychic Predictions 2024, because I've always been interested. I've always been around. I've always had readings. And up pops up Violetta and then Linda G. And so then I started watching them. And then, it was like one thing led to another. And that's really, Kevin, how I've discovered the retreat in Sedona, the first one, because I was watching your videos with Jeffrey and Debbie. So having the community, I wrote in my book about years ago when you'd have to go to the bookstore, and there would be one little section called Esoterica. And I would sit there in that little back section and look at every book because there weren't that many. And I'd say, and I would always look at the copyright to see what's the latest book. And I would try to connect that way, but I wasn't connecting with people. I was just looking at the books. And so with this community, it's so amazing because you can just click it on and there's different ones, not everybody resonated with me. I kind of worked through it, but like one person led to another person, led to another person. And then I started getting, booking sessions. I had a really incredible Akashic record reading with Val from Dragonfly back in February of 2024. And it was just about like that I was a healer, and I was like, oh, what is she talking about? I don't understand this. And so it, it I just had reread that recently, and I was like, wow, that all kind of like happened. It's all transpired. So, yeah, coming out and being part of this community, because you have people that are supporting you no matter what. Um, when you're out in the 3D world or whatever, in the regular world, and people are talking about just regular stuff, the weather and their new car or whatever they're doing, and it's like you don't really resonate with that, but you can turn to this community. So yes, this community has been absolutely wonderful. um, and the same thing, like when I came out 30 years ago, I found a community. I found this bowling league, which led to this, which led to that, and so you find your community, but having this online community is incredible. um, Nina said, I pulled the chariot and the lovers this morning. Renewal is relationships in order to progress forward, not taking shortcuts, methodical and patient growth. Um, yeah, I think relationships reinvent themselves too. So as one relationship changes, another one comes forth, and the one that you had maybe will change and transform. And I think our example in doing this work to those that are not quite interested, or dare I say awake in a sense, we're setting an example for them because they quite can't put a finger on us. So I think that helps them. Yeah, I agree. I am so grateful for this community. Um, yeah, thanks, Annie. It was really felt a connection to you. I felt a connection when we met online and did some work together, but meeting you in person was really special. Um, Oh, we got a lot of comments. I was here gabbing here and I didn't see all the comments. I agree, Kathy. It's like everybody's coming in here. We've got a nice group of people here this morning. Um, yeah, Vivian. Well, next time you definitely, be, we'll see you. We'll see you soon. I'm sure. And we're very close geographically, so it'd be nice to touch base at some point. Oh, yeah, I agree. Annie was saying, we love the retreat. My hubby's asking where the next nature-based retreat is. That was incredible. That was really an important part of the retreat. Yeah, I mean, I took the class as well, and it's interesting when you're doing the work as a medium and psychic work. Once you learn like the pathway to get into something, it's you didn't think you could do it, but then it sort of opens up a whole new world. Um, yeah, I agree. New car, whatever. um, we have some news here. Breaking news. Kevin said, Annie, rumor has it Vancouver Island. Well, we do have an event this October in Vancouver Island but I'm not sure there's any openings for that. If there are any openings, Kevin, maybe you can let me know. I can let people know here for Eileen's event. Yeah, I agree. I love this community. Awesome. This has been an interesting chat here. I didn't know what I was going to do. I got all this stuff out to do readings, but it's been nice just to chat and go over some things. And I'm really, again, I was talking earlier about this book I wrote, and I'm really, I don't know what got into me the other day. I just sat down. I had to finish the last two chapters, although I know there'll be more edits, like I said, but I just sat down for about 4 or 5 hours and I just hammered it out. And then I went through and edited it, and it needs more editing, obviously, but I really am happy that I got it out. I feel like I really accomplished something. And, if my story resonates with others and when it gets out, that's great. Oh, Kevin has breaking news. We may have one or two for Eileen's mediumship event in October. Please email Kevin. Um, so Eileen Davies is just medium's medium. She is just really, really an incredible teacher, an incredible person. Kevin actually got me to work with her when I went to Arthur Finley, and then now I'm working with her in a mentorship program, and I've been out to see her in Arthur Finley again, and I'm going to go back in next March. So she's really, 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 really incredible to work with. So if you're interested and you want to do, I believe it's trance mediumship that she's going to be working on in October. Please email Kevin. If I made a mistake with that statement, let me know. But email Kevin if you get a chance to work with Eileen is great. Check out her website is Eileen Davies. It's with one L, EILEENDAVIES.com. Yeah. So. Oh, okay. Mediumship and trance. So both. That's great. Yeah, it's going to be an incredible session. So if you're interested in that, please let Kevin know. Hey, howdy. I just reposted the video we did, Callie, a while back when I was joking about going to funerals. Oh, here's Kevin's email. So if you're interested in that Eileen Davies event, it's info@kevinlewismedium.com, info@kevinlewismedium.com, and in Vancouver Island. So I'll be flying into, not direct, I don't know why I thought that, but I'm flying into Victoria. And I think it's very close. It's not too far from the airport, maybe a half hour or something. Yeah, that was fun. We got to do something else together, Kelly. That was a fun show we did. Yeah, I've been writing this book, Annie, kind of ongoing because as this stuff was happening to me, I was documenting it because I was writing and doing my journaling and my automatic writing, but I was documenting everything that was happening. In fact, I have pictures and stuff too of when some of these things happened. Not everything, but I've been documenting. So it kind of unfolded as things were going, and I would get to one thing and I would think, oh, I am almost done. And so I think there's a couple more things that might transpire, but there's a whole bunch of other things that I haven't even put in the book because there's a bunch of galactic things that have happened as well that I'm going to be sharing. And I joke around, that's my next book. But that's kind of a whole nother topic of some experiences that I've had during this awakening with galactic contact and stuff. So as well as with the furry friends, which are galactic too. So those experiences will be shared later, but the book, let's see here. No, it's not published yet, Annie. It's just final. I just finished writing it, so I still have to go through. I did copyright it as unpublished, but I haven't published it yet. So that'll be something I work on over the next few months. Thinking maybe in the late fall, winter. I haven't really rushed it. I've kind of let it unfold. So I definitely will let people know when I get it finished, or when it's published, I should say. Oh yeah, Callie's making how much. I did repost on my Instagram page the video or short we did when I was on her show, joking about going to funerals. And what happened was I was standing at this person's, at the funeral, and they were joking to me about something about the way they looked, where they were laying, so to speak. And I was like, I can't believe you just said that. But it was exactly the way he would have said it. So it was obvious it was him. Yeah, I'm glad it's, she's saying about this posting was that someone had reached out to her about doing readings and things. So everything happens we're all connected. I mean, look at this. I just logged on here, and the whole family is here logged on. Really is. Yes, that's what I'm planning on doing. I was so I didn't know like really what I was doing. So Kevin asked, I use self-publishing. So, and then when I looked it up and like, I go, well, that isn't that expensive. And the expensive part is then buying the books ahead of time to sell, basically. So that's what my plan is to do. So if anybody has any ideas on where to go, I know Amazon is one option, but I did look at some other options as well. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure which direction to go with that. So. Um, Oh, I'm sitting here. I might as well, since I'm sitting here with it, I'm share my rock that I have. This is my special rock. Some of you guys know about this rock. So this rock um, was here right behind me. It was laying there one morning. I'll just leave it at that. It's all quartz. And the other thing that's interesting about it, it has a metal piece embedded in it in the bottom. Yeah, it's really weird. But there's a whole story about that rock. So that rock will be in the next book. um, oh, thank you. Bear and Company would be my dream team publisher. Yeah. I'm not sure I'm going to be directly, well, if they do self-publishing, it's something I'll look at, but I haven't, yeah, I need to get some more input on. I don't want to just jump, I could just jump into Amazon and be done and it's all taken care of. But I don't want to just jump into that because one thing I'm good at is I am good about jumping into things when I listen to my intuition, but sometimes I jump into things too quickly. And this one, I've really taken time to write the book. So, oh, that rock does not look like it looks in my third eye. Yeah. So I took time writing the book, and I want to take time with the publisher part too. So, Jan says, when I finally get my cards, then I'm going to print them through Print Ninja. I've been keeping an eye on them. Okay. See, I like all these suggestions. So, yeah, so I got to work on that. But I feel like the hard part's done. Although I did add a small chapter already in it the next morning, and it was about the Akashic Records, the reading. And I actually reached out to Val that day, and she actually responded to me today saying, "Oh my God, you can mention me in the book because it was an incredible reading." So I forgot I wanted to include that, but I think I got most of the other stuff in it that was important. Yeah, totally agree, Annie, with your comment. That's where it's from. Oh, Kelly's working on a new deck. That's great. Leah, welcome. Leah Omega 8. Leah Omega. I like your third eye on your signature there. That's great. Oh, Leah. So Leah, I've been on for about 45 minutes and we've just been talking. I answered one question briefly. It was a small mediumship question, but if anybody has a last question or anything else they want to add before I go off, let me know. I was all prepared to do readings, but I'm actually kind of enjoying this. I do like to talk. If you know me, I really enjoy. I don't like to. I think while I talk, so that's how I kind of do everything with. Let's see here. Oh, just as I said that, I just pulled this card. I have the Four Direction cards by Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's your word is the power that you have to create. It is a gift that comes directly from God. So I believe that. So I like a lot of words. If I'm with the right person, I can talk forever about things. I don't know how you guys are. Any last questions or anything else anybody wants to comment on? Oh, Annie versus, I think I painted an intergalactic being yesterday. I'll post it. Cool. That would be great. Oh, I have these other cards here that I use. These golden mantra cards. They're great to use. If you're doing a reading and I just have something. But this one card popped out just now, and I really like it because it's a little other Northern California talk. It says, "I'm hella in my bag." So for reals and hella are definitely NorCal talk. So I like this card. Oops, there it is. I'm hella in my bag. You meaning you're in your flow, you're in your space, you're in your zone. Oh yeah, let's put up Annie's channel at Annie Bear 7F. And Leah's telling us about her. Annie's paintings are like plasma, trippy, and alive from her alchemy. That's really cool. Oh, yeah, Standing in the Light with Annie Bear 7F. Sorry, Standing in the Light with Annie Bear 7F. So check it out. Annie, your voice is so calming and so peaceful. It's always nice to listen to you. We have to do something. Oh, we did have a question. Okay, I'm sorry, Mirror Dragon. Could you please read the energy of my third eye while it is losing vision? So are you saying that you feel like your third eye? Before I read on it, I always feel like when you open up that you don't really lose it. It's just you have to practice on it. But what I'm hearing is that there's a lot of things right in front of you that you're not seeing. So it's almost like you're looking too hard at it, like you're working. It's almost like there's things in front of you, but you're looking past them instead of just like seeing the forest for the tree, so to speak. Um, Slow down, take some time, and take everything in, is what I'm getting. Um, More will be revealed, more will come. But I think what I'm getting is they want you to see what's already there. So I feel like it's almost like a tuning into the frequency, like you're kind of there, but you're not quite there, maybe, and you need to like tune into what's there, and then as they're tuning into you more, then you'll get more. That's what I'm getting. I hope that makes sense. Oh, Annie says pull a card on painting and guardians. Let's see, which card should I use? Okay, we'll pull a card on paintings. I'll do 3 cards, Annie. So I got movement, choices, and decisions. This is out of my psychic tarot deck that I like. So I feel like these paintings are something that's going to lead to something. And I feel like it's your strength. So I pull the authority card, and just a lot of love energy around these cards. So I feel like let's see, let's pull one on your in your guardians, Annie. Annie's guardians. So I pulled 5 cards here, and what I'm getting, and I get the main card I got was truth. So I feel like your guardians are providing that truth, and you're aware of what's happening. But I pulled this disruption card, which is basically the tower card. So I feel like there's some big things happening. I don't sense anything negative. It's just that there's some maybe more clarity with these messages. But definitely around truth. So a lot is being I feel like I just heard messenger. You're a messenger. I mean, I think we know that already, but I just heard messenger. So these things that are coming to you, that you'll be sharing them with others. Um, and going back to Mere Dragon, she said, I feel like my physical eye is losing vision. Oh, your physical eye. I was thinking of your third eye. Well, that's if it's your physical vision, I would suggest you go to an eye doctor on that and get an exam um, as soon as possible, like next week. So that's what I would do with that. Thanks for coming in, Nina. Okay, Leah Omega 8, can you pull a card for the summer? Oh, I'm going to pull it out of this Sacred Forest Oracle deck. I just got this from my friend Bobby while I was in Squamish. There's actually a story about these cards. I kept pulling the Dragon card and the Grace card. And Grace was my mother-in-law who passed, Mom Grace. And the person on the card actually looks like her. It's a native woman. It was really incredible. Look at this. For the summer, Lee, I pulled the Hummingbird Spirit Joy. And it's a beautiful card. So even we've got all this stuff happening, I always go back to those, going back to what we were saying about the flowers. Viviani brought up about the flowers. And I brought up about my video I posted with the monarch. So just take a look at those small things. So that's what's going to get us through, is the joy that's already around us. And even I mentioned about the third eye with Mere Dragon, was a lot of times things are already around us and we're just not seeing them. Thank you. Yeah, that's a nice card. Um, when I'm seeing your thing here about your husband, Annie, I heard the word decisions. So I feel like there's a lot of changes or I would say opportunities that are happening that he just has to make some decisions around. But sometimes when you have a lot of things in your head, it's hard to know which one to go first. But I think everything will work out. But that's what I got. Um, yeah, what a nice card. I'm really glad I got those cards. Well, we're finishing up for the hour, so this has like been Tom's gab session here, but everybody's been contributing, so this is great. If anybody wants to do anything together, let me reach out, and have a great weekend, and I hope we don't have any more storms. Take care.